Hi, and welcome to the fifth and final part of the BreakFree Relationship series. Today we're going to be talking about overcoming confrontational conversations. So for years and years and years, I was shunning confrontation. At least that's what I had in my head. I would just avoid having the conversation and instead do something to please the other, because that felt like the easier thing to do. Now, over time, what did that mean? It meant that I was internalizing a lot of things and I was blocking emotion inside of me. And this emotion was affecting my health as well as the relationship between myself and the other person. And when I came to this conclusion, I said, my goodness, what am I doing? I want to bring us closer together, not tear us apart. So I'm going to share with you a framework which I refer to as the BreakFree Framework for overcoming what in your mind might be a confrontational conversation. So first and foremost, when entering the conversation, what frame of mind are you in? Are you entering with anger, fear, resentment, or are you entering with love, compassion, and empathy? I always say, if you enter a conversation with a negative frame of, state of mind, how do you expect to get a positive outcome? You've reduced your chances. So enter the conversation with love, compassion, or empathy. The second, be very clear on what outcome you wish to achieve. Otherwise, it's like walking into a dense forest and having no map or compass and just walking around in any random direction, hoping to get out. Right? So be very, very crystal clear what outcome you wish to have. And I would even go as far as communicating that when you sit with them. And the third is be aware of your emotional state. Every time your emotion starts to go off track, implement some sort of a routine that brings you back. The one that I often use is a technique called box breathing, which essentially is breathe in for a few seconds, let's say 3, hold for 3, breathe out for 3, hold for 3 again, and keep repeating that until you're back in control. Because I don't know about you, but every time I've gone out of control, I've said or done things that I often regret. And we certainly don't want that to happen when we're trying to build the relationship stronger. So now that we've covered that, the framework, ensure you're in a quiet space, no distractions, all those gadgets aside. Communicate with clarity what you wish the outcome to be. Absolutely no violence of any kind, which means no raising of voices, no physical violence. That's just a no-no. Ensure that you give persons space and you don't judge, right? There can be multiple perspectives to everything. Imagine you and I facing each other and I draw a big 6 on the ground. Now I'm going to argue with you till the end of day, that's a 6. And you're going to say, Sahil, no, I'm sorry, that's a 9. And we can argue on and on and on. But all we had to do is say, you know what, there can be multiple perspectives to something. Let me try to understand it from the other point of view. The next step is to listen. Many times when people speak, I start thinking of the response. That's the voice in my head. Or it's, going blah, blah, blah. And when it does that, I'm not listening to you anymore. So rather than listening to the voice in my head that's interpreting everything that you're saying or thinking of the response, I'm going to commit, and I'll share this with the other person as well, that I'm going to listen. And it's not just listening to the words coming out of their mouth, but also their body language, their eye movement, their hand movement, their body movement. So now that you have the basics of the BreakFree Framework, apply this. Apply it immediately. Contact someone where you know that there's this distance between you and you don't know why, and you just want to bring it closer together again. and reach out to them and share with them the framework and agree to it and modify it if need be. But it's time to have that conversation, approached with love, compassion, or empathy. Because relationships are important in our life. It's so much better going through this journey together than going through it alone. I hope you enjoyed this series. I can't wait to hear about all the wonderful relationships that have now become stronger as a result. And I look forward to the next series coming soon.